Like I said, there's logs with other bases. I showed you the E, and the most common one though is reason why it's called common log is it's base 10, and computer science they use a lot of base 2 because you have the zeros and ones, and so they use base 2. What does that mean? Well, it's going to be 2 to some power. Okay, so that's going to be the key. So, so log base 2 of x is equal to what? Now it's -3 or -2. Because what we're doing, again, we're bringing that down in front. When we take log base 2 of 2, that's just going to be 1. -3 times that is going to be that. So base 2 log is an exponent of having base 2. All right, so if we do that, that means if we're going to simplify these by hand, we have to get this into some 2 to some power. Well, 2 to what power? Well, if we do that, that's going to give us 2 to the 4. Okay, that's pretty easy. And so it's going to be log base 2 of 2 to the 4. And again, we just take that 4, bring it down front. Log base 2 is 1, and so we just have 4. Now this one's going to give us a negative because it's going to be 2 to the -5. And so now when we take log base 2 of that, bring down the -5, we just have -5. So it's simple, but you have to start thinking about, okay, depending on the base, I have to get this to that base or this to that base. And so that's kind of a key here. As I mentioned before, there's also the natural log, and it's base E. So this is one that a lot of people use. I like to use this one more than I like to use log base 10, just because it's more scientific, I guess. And so it can be written as log base E of x, or like I said, ln of x. Okay, so that's kind of the key here. That's an ln, not an in. Okay. Now, here, again, if we take the ln of this value, that -3 comes down in front, and that's our answer. Okay, so all these are going to have a base E. So that's going to be what we have to do to get these. And there's a lot of problems that have base E in them. Interest rate, principal times E to the RT, all things like that. And sometimes we have to solve for T. And so we're going to start taking ln's of both sides, and then we'll use our ln properties to bring things down. So it's commonly used in a lot of different areas. All right, so approximate to the nearest hundredth. Well, guess what? These are not nice like base 10, and so we have to use a calculator basically every time. So we just type in ln of 20 and we get our value. Or we type in ln of 0.25 or 1 over 4 and we get our value here. Okay, and so that's kind of a nuance with ln's. You actually have to use your calculator to do it, but it really is what you have to do with logs. Because if you have log of 27, you can't do that in your head or anything. But if you had a log of 100, well, that's going to be 2. So it all depends on what your value of x is, on if you can do it in your head or not. And with ln, you always do it basically on a calculator. All right, so let's stop there and we'll come back for some more.